Hello everyone and welcome to the channel EshtechZ. This is our new series, The Reason, that we have recently started, and in our previous video we have covered why ArrayList is faster while retrieving values. Today's topic is why ArrayList is slower while removing the values. So let's get started. First, let's take a look at the ways to remove an element from ArrayList. Now we are using two widely used ways. The first one is to use the remove method and the second one is to use the iterator. So we'll be discussing both methods, starting with making use of ArrayList's remove method. Now ArrayList provides two overloaded remove methods. The first remove method takes index as an parameter, and the second remove method takes object that we want to remove as an parameter. Now it is not recommended to use the remove method if we are iterating over the element. If we do so, this can lead to concurrent modification exception. Now let's take a look at the other method, which is using iterator.remove method. Iterator is an interface available in collection framework. We can make use of iterator or list iterator. Iterator is unidirectional, which means it only works in forward direction, whereas list iterator is bidirectional. But list iterator has a limitation, which means it can only be used to iterate over lists, whereas we can use iterator to iterate over set as well. So for this particular tutorial, we'll be using iterator. Now this is the list that we have created in our previous tutorial. From this list, we want to remove the red element which is at the index 3. And in order to do so, we need to type iterator of type string, and we need to create this iterator over the list using ArrayList.iterator method, and inside the while loop we'll be checking the hasNext method, which will return true and false depending upon the element's availability, and inside the while loop we'll be checking if the next element equals to the red. If it becomes true, we want to remove that element. Now since I already mentioned, this iterator is unidirectional, which means it will start from index 0 and it will go on till the index 7. Now what will happen when we execute this code? So our JVM will get the element and it will remove the element which is at the index 3. But it won't stop here. Now since the ArrayList is sequential block, and now we have created a gap at the index 103, JVM needs to shift all the remaining elements to fill the void. So it will shift the remaining 4 elements, and now the element position 107 will become empty or null. And if you try to get the value from that position, you will get array out of bounds exception. Now let's take a look at the indexes. So now indexes will be updated to show index 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is how the remove or delete works in ArrayList. Now let's take a look at the big O notation for the delete operation. Before that, let's take a look at the steps. So the first step was to remove the element. The second one was to shift the remaining blocks to fill the removed element's position. So for removing the element, it took one operation, which means O of 1, and since we have removed the element at the position of 103 or index 3, there were 4 blocks that JVM shifted to fill the gap. That's why it took 4 operations, and the big O notation for removing the element at position 3 is O of 5. Now let's take a look at the best case scenario. So if we were to remove the last element, which is this one, the big O notation will be O of 1 because there is no next element that we want to shift. Now let's take a look at the worst case scenario. So now if we were to remove the first element, then JVM has to shift all the remaining elements to fill the gap. This leads to the big O notation for this operation is O of n, which is the size of the list. And since we have seen, the big O notation for the delete operation is not fixed. So it varies from O of 1 to O of n. So this is it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we will be learning the reason why linked list is faster while removing or deleting the values from it. So please like, share and subscribe the channel, and don't forget to click on the bell icon to get the latest notifications from us. Thanks for watching.